What it is to be Asian in America is our focus for the whole hour tonight. It's part of our network's Uncovering America series on the issues facing Asians here. And I want to bring out in the open tonight the cultural pressure on Asian Americans that often makes them suffer in silence. We saw a glimpse of it in the aftermath of the Virginia Tech massacre. The family of the killer stayed in hiding and released a statement indicating their shame over what had happened. We learned that Sung-Woo Cho, after being referred for mental treatment 2 years ago, said he might as well kill himself. Those, of course, are extreme and unusual examples, but the pressure on Asian Americans to deny mental illness is severe. Here's medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen with tonight's Vital Signs.
Sean Wynn is about to admit something her culture considers sinful.
Would you say that you were in a depression?
Oh, yes. I fell in a very deep black hole.
Admitting depression, even just talking about it, is taboo. It's heresy in many Asian cultures. Still, if anyone has a reason to be depressed, it's Wynn. Forced to leave her home in Vietnam after the fall of Saigon, she was just 19, yet she led a group of 20 other refugees, from newborns to the elderly, from Vietnam to the Philippines to Guam, and finally to a camp in Arkansas.
That was very, very traumatizing.
Sounds like you had to flee terrible situations twice in your life.
Oh, yes.
Wynn became a highly successful financial planner in New Orleans. But a few years ago, she left everything behind when she said she had to flee her marriage. But that's not all. She was also diagnosed with colon cancer, and she had a heart attack. And despite all that, she was still expected to be stoic.
Here you are being very out in the open about your depression and your suicide attempts. What does your community think about being that honest?
In Asia, anytime we talk about depression, it's a sign of weakness. Weaknesses should be well hidden, behind closed doors.
Now counselors are trying to open those doors and let in some light, but they say it's very tough.
That's me and that's my uncle.
Dr. Dong No was one of the hundreds of thousands of boat people who fled Vietnam in the 1970s. Now a psychologist at Asian American Family Services in Houston, Dr. No says asking for counseling in his culture is shameful, and not just for the person doing the asking.
It's very embarrassing for the whole family. Whatever you do, it's represent the family's name.
There were times when I came very close to taking my life one way or another.
But then Sean Wynn turned a corner. She searched deep into her Buddhist roots.
Thank God for Buddha, who had taught me that when you commit suicide, you actually have to come back and live the same challenges, the same lessons.
Slowly, thoughts of suicide began to go away.
I backed out. There's a tiny little voice at the end that said, "No, you remember you've been taught that you can't do that. That's not the way out."
Wynn combined that ancient wisdom from her old country with modern psychology from her new country.
I'm okay, you're okay, and Norman Vincent Peale with the power of positive thinking.
Now she boldly speaks about what she once considered unspeakable.
If I don't step up and speak of the problems that I had, personally problems I had, no one would come out. And we all continue to suffer. We have to find a way to stop.
Suffering she hopes to end by stopping the silence. Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, Houston.
And we're going to change our focus now to something more on the surface. Every year, thousands of Asian Americans go in for cosmetic surgery. We're about to bring the shocking reason for some of those operations right out in the open.
Do you think you're pretty? Not bad looking. I wouldn't say like really pretty, because my standard is pretty should be having big eyes.
Next in our special hour, Asian women asking doctors to permanently change their eyes. Ooh, ouch. And a little bit later on, actress Ming Na, she played a doctor on ER. I'm sure you remember her. And I'm going to ask her if Hollywood is stereotyping Asian stars and denying them all the good roles. We'll be right back.